Hello everybody, I'm Bets Golden. Welcome back to my channel. And today I am going to make a Valentine's Day card using the XOXO Turnabout stamp, the little jig that goes with it, and then some pieces from the So Happy Hearts die set. I already have my card base. This is an A2. I took a piece of stark white cardstock. I think that this is the Simon Hurley one. I cut it down in half, so it was like this, sliced it down in half, and then I scored it in the middle, which gives you the perfect A2 card size. So I normally like to stamp on things that are flat. However, for this particular technique, we're actually going to have to stamp on a folded card. So I'm going to go ahead and just rotate that over and fold that on through like so. And I'm going to be using my Turnabout Jig. But before I do that, I need to use some temporary adhesive on the inside, and I got fingerprints there, on the inside of the card, as well as adhering it to the jig. So this is the jig, and it's a great little tool. It is made for A2 card sizes. There's little notches up here. I don't know if you can tell, but you put the card down. If you want it long way, you put it down this way, want it that way, or diagonal, horizontal. And what you're going to do is you're just going to take your temporary adhesive. It's real important that you use a temporary adhesive on this. And you are going to find the one and put it just in the corner, and that is going to show us how to rotate this. All right, so this is here. And actually, before I do this, I don't want a white background on this because, let me show you. This is what the background's going to look like. So there's a lot of white on it. So I actually want to color that a little bit. This is another variation of this. And you can actually catch my video that I just posted last on Tuesday. Or I'll post the link down below to see how I made these cards. But I said over there that I would show you guys how to do this. So I'm just going to get down a little bit of color on this. I'm using the Minty Green by Simon Hurley. I just like how the Simon Hurley inks blend a little bit better than Catherine Pooler inks. That's my opinion. This color is very similar to Meant to Be in her Party Spring line. And that is, I'm going to be actually using this. It's the Spring Fling Party Collection. Sorry, Spring Fling, I said it wrong. I'll have everything I'm using linked down below for you in case you're interested in any of this. But these products have been out for some time, so you might have some of them even in your stash. So let's just see. So this is the Simon Hurley inks. And let's just try the Minty to Be so you can kind of see if there is a difference. I don't know. I'm just kind of partial to the Simon Hurley inks, I think, too. So let's just see here. Foam pad's different. Now, I did do a video on a comparison of both of these inks. See how hers goes on pretty dark, comes in with a lot of vibrancy, and it can be a little bit hard to blend out, whereas his, I just go on in and it blends a little bit easier for me. But see that harsh line right there? So you use a little bit of a heavier hand with his, and you go over it a couple times with Simon Hurley ink if you want it to be darker, and I appreciate that, whereas with the Catherine Pooler inks, I'm really a light touch right now, and I didn't hardly even touch it, and it just picks up a lot of ink. So it's great, like right there, I have that harsh line, I'm not going to be able to get that out. So these are, like I said, Catherine Pooler inks are great to stamp with. They do a beautiful image, but when it comes to blending, I just like the Simon Hurley a little bit better. And see right there, and I'm using a foam dome here, so you know, when you go in, luckily there's not that harsh line, but you know, I can just go in here and there's nothing, there's no harsh lines. So just something to think about. I am going to try to squirt some water on this, I think, and just try to, you know, get a little bit of that softened, but I will go in with her darker ink all around and just try to get a little bit more coverage in those spots that don't necessarily have coverage. It's a beautiful color. Really love it. And I'm actually going to do, I was thinking about doing the heart that I want to put down in her ink. So just lesson, I don't think you necessarily have to go out and buy separate ink if you have either one of these. Just if you're using Catherine Pooler, just go in with a really, really light hand and just move your dome around quite a bit. All right, so from here, I'm just going to take a little bit of water, mist it on, and thankfully it all moves beautifully. I like that background. I think it looks great. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and heat set this, and then, or just get it dry by using my heat it tool. And then we'll come back and do the Turnabout stamp. I've decided that while I'm sitting here, I want to actually color in my heart because it's going to need some time to dry if I have to use water on it. I want to really see what this Melon Ice looks like on white. I haven't used it yet. This is a new collection to me. So I thought it might be nice just to try to blend it out. And now I know that I need to go in with a very soft hand, and even that is really intense. So I'm gonna definitely need to blend this out with some water. It's so, and that spot just doesn't want to move much. Yeah, it's a pretty color. But everything requires just a light touch with Catherine Pooler, I've discovered. Her inks are fabulous. I mean, I keep buying them, obviously, but I just have a hard time blending them. All right, so I think that's going to be good. I'm going to take and just, I think I'm going to squirt some water, because you see how on the corners there, I don't really care for how that looks. So let me just get that to move a little bit, and then I'll pick it up so it doesn't keep lifting the color. That's a little bit better. So I can just run the heat it tool on it. Whenever you heat a tool after you've put water, whenever you heat something, you put water on. If it's a paper base, always flip it over and do the back side, because the water does have time to seep down there. All right, so as you can tell, we're doing a little bit of a non-traditional type card here. So the colors on it are different. They're going to hope, I was thinking they would be pastel-y, but based on what we did up here, I'm not so sure that the Spring Fling is pastel-y, I think, but I might be using a heavy hand. So we'll see. I got a little bit ahead of myself there. You actually want to put your Turnabout Jig down first before you put your card on it. And there is a X in the middle of it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. And if you have a hard time seeing it, go ahead and just outline it with a Sharpie marker. And then the hardest part of this process is lining up your stamp on top of the acetate sheet that it came on, because you have to get it right in the right spot. So I like to go ahead and line that up, and then take this and line it up from there. And then you're going to take it, you're going to pick it up like so. You're going to remove this piece, and now you're ready to turn. So you're going to take temporary adhesive. You're You're going to put some on the back and you're going to line it up with the appropriate grooves. There's grooves up in the corner right here. So make sure you can read it first. That's the best thing to do, because if you can't read it, it's on backwards and that can create problems for some of the stamps. So we're going to line this up in these grooves. And now we're just going to start to turn. So I wanted to use my new spring fling set that I bought. So I'm going to go ahead. This is the set I'm using. I love these little minis because they're perfect for storing and they contain all the great ink. So I'm going to go ahead and actually start off with It's a Boy, It's a Girl. So let's see how this does. And the thing I like about this is I can stamp it several times. You definitely, in case you don't get a good image, but you definitely need to have a platform for this to work. The Catherine Puller ink, one of the reasons why I like to use them is because you simply just have to wet it down and wipe it off, though a stamp squeegee does work a lot better. I pulled my Lawn Fawn stamp squeegee out, and that really works great. And then you can dry it. And then we're going to rotate it. So we have it on 1. We're going to go ahead and flip it to 2. And for this one, I'm going to use It's a Boy. So now we're going to go ahead and rotate it to 3. I think it's important that when you do this, you definitely have a system that you use so that you rotate it at the right time and you don't accidentally stamp over something you didn't mean to do. So we're going to use Sweet 16 this time. This is our last one. We're going to do Pixie Dust. So from here, we want to go ahead and remove our temporary adhesive. You can do that usually with just your finger, Otherwise, you can use an eraser like this. But usually I can just get it up with my fingers. Comes up nicely. Don't forget to get the inside as well. And then I am going to open it up for this next step. Before I do that, do you notice that there's some ink here and it picked up because the card obviously wasn't laying flat? So I do want to go ahead and ink the edges, only I think I'm going to ink it in black. You guys know me. I like to ink things in black. So I'm just going to use my Archival ink, and hopefully that'll just kind of mask that bleed. I want to put this happy between right here on the heart, and I'm not going to color it or anything. I think that the white is super cute on it. I'm going to use some Gina K glue on this. Heard good things. I use this glue for vellum, but I find it awfully expensive for such a small tube. So I am a little bit stingy with when I will use it. My tweezers seem to be a good thing to use for this, and I'm just going to line it up like so right there. And then originally I was going to put it in the corner, but I actually think that it's pretty cute right there in the center on some foam dots or a foam adhesive sheet. I like this foam adhesive sheet. It's by Ranger actually, and you can tear it, so you don't even have to cut it. It tears right off really nicely. But we're not done yet. I want to put some of these silver pearl, it's the liquid pearl drops on here. Love the liquid pearl drops. And now we'll call this card complete. So that was supposed to be kind of a demo on how to do a tutorial, but I guess we got into some other things like experimenting with the differences between Simon Hurley ink and Catherine Pooler ink. I still stick by my statement that I like the way Simon Hurley ink blends, but I love the way Catherine Pooler stamps with your turnabouts and the big, beautiful, bold stamps that you can do. And then, you know, we use some leftover stuff from the demo that I did on Tuesday here. So I think that's pretty cute. Oh, and I know this is not your traditional Valentine's Day card in the sense of the colors that I used. I did that on purpose. I like to push the limits, and I like things that are kind of surprising. So technically you could use this card probably for something that's not Valentine's Day card. I actually think it's a great spring traditional, like a transitional card from winter into spring, you know, so I think it's pretty fun, these colors. Plus I really wanted to use my new ink that I bought. All right, you guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I certainly hope that you do so. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I have a video coming out. Until next time, I'm Betsy Golden. Happy crafting!